the history and all the richness of all the cultures in Mesoamerica, like Mexico. Have you ever been to Mexico? Like,
Yes.
you go to any state and there is ruins, pyramids. I am from Querétaro, which is like 2 hours north Mexico. You know Querétaro? I mean, Querétaro is not known for having pyramids, but there is a pyramid in the capital.
Yeah, we lived in San Miguel de Allende.
Ah, yeah, I think you told me.
In San Miguel, there's a pyramid as well.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so there's pyramids everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think, like, in my opinion, like Chichen Itza is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. But I have been impressed more by Uxmal, which is in Yucatan.
Where's Uxmal?
Uxmal is close to Merida, like very close, South Merida. And also Palenque. Palenque is amazing.
Palenque is amazing.
Have you been to Palenque?
No.
Of
I've been to in Guatemala, Tikal.
Tikal. I have never been there. I love to go there because the Maya culture was settled down there.
Yeah. It's the same in southern Mexico. Right?
Is what?
It's the same. It's the same Maya culture.
It is the same.
Palenque and
Yeah, but Palenque is North Chiapas, so it is closer to Tabasco. So Chiapas, this is Chiapas, this state. So the state here is Tabasco. So Palenque is here. So I think it is closer to Tabasco than to Tuxtla Gutierrez, which is the capital of Chiapas. And Tikal is here. Chichen Itza.
if you're in Chiapas, does it take a long time to drive to Palenque? It's hard to get there, isn't it? Because you gotta go through the mountains, right?
Yeah, what I did and what people recommend is just like to take a tour, because there is like Chiapas, I would say roads are complicated.
Yeah, the roads are complicated.
Yeah, so it is. I mean, it is sad, but there is people who block the roads and they ask for money or.
Yeah.
So what it
Better
is.
off having a driver.
It is more recommended like to just to take a tour if you arrive to either Tuxtla or San Cristobal, which is a very beautiful town, San Cristobal de las Casas. So there is lots of tours that take you to Palenque. And also in Palenque there is very beautiful waterfalls, rivers. You have been to Chiapas?
No,
Oh.
I'm just saying this.
We're
I'm just telling him we want to do it all.
We're preparing a trip, so I was trying to get the inside.
Yeah, so one of my mother's cousins, like they rented a car in San Cristobal or Tuxtla, and so they were traveling. They drove across Chiapas. They had some problems, like people asking on the roads for money or. So yeah, when I did all the tours to Palenque, Agua Azul, very beautiful waterfalls, rivers. What else? There is lakes, Montebello. Those lakes close to. So there is very beautiful lakes here, close to Guatemala. Those are very beautiful, like the water, blue water, the mountains. Yeah, so Chiapas is probably one of the states with more nature in Mexico. And also Tabasco, that we will be talking about Tabasco. Tabasco is the main producer of cacao in Mexico. And it is very humid, green. And that's what cacao needs, like to grow. So, okay, so first of all, we will be talking about Okay, so we will be talking about cacao use in Mesoamerica. So this is like the topic of this talk. The first civilization that consumed cacao was the Olmecs. So the Olmecs, like in Mexico, we call it the la cultura madre, which means like the mother culture. because they were the first ones in Mesoamerica, right? Have you ever seen those heads, like the big heads?
Yeah.
Okay, they were built by the Olmecs, very heavy, like 10 tons, so huge. And they, those heads are the representation of leaders for the Olmecs, right? So in this map, let's start saying what Mesoamerica is. So Mesoamerica is a region that from the south of Mexico, so we have Chiapas, Tabasco, and all the Yucatan, and also all Central America was Mesoamerica. Do you know that some countries belonged to Mexico before? Like Guatemala, Guatemala belonged to Mexico in the 19th century. So if you ever visit Guatemala as well, you will see like they eat also corn, and it's very important like as the Mexicans. So we share some things between our cultures. Okay, so it is very interesting because we know that the Olmecs were the first ones to consume cacao, but there is not evidence that they prepare drinks like to drink cacao. We will see later that the Maya and the Aztecs, the way they consume cacao was like drinking it. But here with the Olmecs, it is believed that maybe they just ate the pulp. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with this. Yeah. So inside we have the pulp, and it is said that the Olmecs consume the pulp, but they are not very sure if they also prepare drinks, right? And well, the word cacao comes from the Olmec and the Mayan cacao. And it is interesting because the Mayas, they took some words from the Olmecs. So that's the reason why there is a different word, a different Mayan word for cacao, but it is very close to the Olmec word because the Maya, they came before, and some words were taken from the Olmecs. And here we have a ceramics. In this ceramics, there is different, the Olmecs were settled down in Tabasco. So we said that Tabasco is like this region. Villahermosa is the capital of Tabasco. If you ever want to go to cacao tours, Tabasco has a lot of cacao farms. Actually, like I think that the closest friends that we have that we get cacao from, the cacao farm is located in Comalcalco, Tabasco, and it's just like a very beautiful project because Viridiana, the girl that runs the cacao farm, she's third generation. There is like 60-year-old trees that were planted by her grandfather. So she wants to preserve like all the trees, and also there is like monkeys that live in the trees. So I love to work with all these projects that preserve nature, because she says like I can make more money if I get rid of those like big trees. I can plant more cacao, but what we look is just like to be friendly with the nature, right? So the Olmecs were, they settled down in Tabasco, and we will see that all the Mayas, they settled down in Chiapas and also Yucatan, so the other regions here and here. So when we think of all the Olmecs, it's this region, and also Veracruz, the south. Veracruz is a very long state. So here is the capital, Veracruz City, that's the capital. And the main archaeological sites of the Olmecs were La Venta and San Lorenzo. So like this ceramic was found in San Lorenzo, and this ceramic tested positive to theobromine. So that's why we know that they consume cacao. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
The Maya were before the Olmecs, but the Olmecs were the first to cultivate.
The first, okay, like it is known that the Olmecs consume cacao, but there is little information if they cultivate cacao. But what we know for sure, because of the books, is that the Maya they used to cultivate cacao, and there's much more information. So about the Olmecs,
They're pre-Olmec.
they came. The Olmecs is a very long time, from 2000 BC to 1500. So, like the beginning is almost the same,
Okay, they overlap.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when they got more like a powerful tribe was AC. So like the Olmecs, like in theory, like they had like a big civilization before Christ, and here with the Maya, it's more like after Christ. So they were stronger in the late period of time.
So you think the Olmecs had it before the Mayans? The Olmecs?
Yes. Like cacao. Cacao is native to Mexico and the Amazonas. There is a big debate where cacao is from. But for me, I will tell you my opinion. Like Ecuador and Peru, there is like a big controversy because those countries, they say that cacao is native to those countries and the Amazonas. And in Mexico, obviously, there is people who say that they all make some before. But in Ecuador, there is like some ceramics that tested positive to theobromine, which are 3000 AC. So it is even before the Olmecs. But now my opinion is that if there is like these ceramics that found in Ecuador, that doesn't necessarily means that cacao is from there, because maybe later people could find like some other traces in the Maya or the Olmecs. So that doesn't assure that cacao is from there, in my opinion. And what I like to say is that cacao is native to Mexico, from Mexico to the Amazonas, just like all that region, Central America. For me, it's not
Who came first or
yeah.
first? We just don't know.
Like for me, the most important thing is to recognize nowadays, like the people that work the cacao, the origin. So we are not going to fight like who consume cacao in the first period of time. But for me, it is just more about what we have today, like speaking of the origins, and that's what we do as chocolate makers, bean to bar, right? I will give you some samples so that you can experience a little bit of Mexico while you are listening to me.
Thank you.
How do
Yeah,
they,
sure.
If they consider, as a beverage, it's considered food for the gods, but
Yes.
the trees are associated with the underworld.
Yes, I will explain.
So
Then.
it's the fruit, essentially, the tree.
It is the
makes
fruit,
good.
yeah. So like the Maya, as I said, there is more information about the Mayas. They used to have the cacao as a drink with spices, chili peppers, vanilla. Do you know where vanilla is native to? It is native to Veracruz. You remember the long state that I mentioned? And also achiote. Has anyone heard of this spice? It is a red spice. If you ever visit Yucatan, there is like some typical food is made with achiote, like cochinita pibil is basically pork with yeah, it has achiote, so that's why it's a little bit spicy and it's a little bit red. So why do you think that the Maya used to add achiote to a drink? It has to be with the color.
Looks like blood.
Exactly, yeah. So it is believed that they added achiote, yeah, to make it appear like blood, right? And those beverages were consumed during spiritual ceremonies, and also when upper classes, leaders got married. So, speaking of the Maya, it was a very that was a very special drink, and not everyone could drink it, right? So it was just for the upper classes. So, and it was considered as a sacred beverage. Why? Because they believe that a god came from the underworld to the earth to bring cacao. So I will explain to you looking at this illustration. Yeah. So the Maya, as we said, like they settled down in all the green area. So Yucatan, I think they are also in Tabasco, but the Olmecs are more associated with Tabasco state. So like the Maya, where there is more important archaeological sites in Chiapas, the one close to Guatemala. So we talk about this state. Guatemala is here, and there is other countries, El Salvador, Belize. So so the Maya Empire was larger than the Olmec, and there is a lot of books written by the Maya, and that's the reason why we know more information about the Maya than the Olmecs, because there is just a little bit information. The Olmecs didn't used to write, to have like books, and the Maya, like there is lots of important books, as the Popol Vuh. Have you ever heard of the Popol Vuh? This is probably the most important Maya book written. It was found in Guatemala, not in Mexico. But like this talk is not about Mexico, it is about Mesoamerica. And we said in the beginning that Mesoamerica it is not only Mexico, but also Central America, like Guatemala and all Central America. So this book was found in Guatemala, and the Popol Vuh is probably the most important book written during the Maya period. This book talks about the creation of the universe. So there is a lot of stories, myths, and in this book, like it is written that God, which is there, he lived in the underworld, he resurrected, came to the earth, and brought the cacao tree. So that's the reason, like, why the Maya associated cacao with the underworld, because the God that brought cacao to the earth came from the underworld, and it is also associated with resurrection and reborn, because that God was reborn and came to the earth. So yeah, it's very fascinating. Just lots of stories in this Maya book. Is there any question about the Maya? Yeah.
Would the book or exemption parts of the book be available like in English from?
It's translated, yes. You can read the book online. Yeah, you can get it.
Yeah, you can find the books. I have seen like in some libraries. Now I will tell you something, that most of these books, for the Aztecs, we will talk about other books, Toledo and Florentino. So these books, they were taken to other countries. So most of these books are in Europe. I'm not sure about the Popol Vuh, but these are located. These other books from the Aztecs are in Liverpool, England, and I don't remember. It's Madrid and Liverpool. So those books are in Europe, and they were taken like many years ago. So it is very complicated. You know that also here in the States there is like some Mexican pieces from all those cultures, and it's very difficult to take them back to Mexico. I heard on the news that now they are doing some things like to take them back. But I mean, like as far as people can just appreciate our culture and see and go to the museums and see all the things. For me, I mean, it's just a matter of to preserve all the things from all those cultures. So the Aztecs, they came after the Maya, and they were just before the Spanish arrived in the 16th century. So there is much more information about the Maya, the Aztecs. There is lots of books. The Tuleda and Florentino, as I mentioned, they are in some museums in Europe. And the Aztecs, they received the knowledge of how to prepare the beverage from the Maya, right? And there is this book, Tuleda book from the 16th century. And as we can see, there is a lady pouring the drink. And do you know why? Can you imagine why the Aztecs used to do this, like to pour the beverage? What do you think they wanted to have, like, as a drink? Or to create, like, why would you think they would do this? A foam, yeah, they like a foam. So that's the reason, exactly. Yeah, and also in that Tuleda book, there is also some illustrations of the cacao tree, as we can see. So that's how that book looks. And the other book is a Florentino book, and this is a person that is selling cacao seeds. And so we mentioned that for the Maya, the cacao beans, they were consumed by upper classes and for leaders. But here, years later, with the Aztecs, it was more available to people. However, the largest beans were used by the leaders, and the beans, like let's say the low quality beans, they were used as currency. So this is a person in now Mexico City, Tenochtitlan, like when the Aztecs settled down in central Mexico. So this guy is selling cacao beans in Tlatelolco. Tlatelolco is like a zone close to downtown where the pyramids Tenochtitlan were built, very close. So that took place in a Tlatelolco market. So the Aztecs used to trade, to use cacao to trade for anything. For example, with 5 cacao beans, you could buy a rabbit. Another example, like a turkey for 100 seeds. So it was very funny because when I was like doing research, I read that in that time, like money grew in trees, right? So, and that's what happened. And it is very interesting. Oh, they used to consume the cacao in cold beverages. Like it is very different because it is believed that the Maya drink it hot, and here the Aztecs, they used to have cold drinks. There's not like a specific reason. I didn't find like a specific reason why they liked cold drinks and not hot. Anyway, and also something very interesting is that the Aztecs, they forced some tribes from the south of Mexico, from the Soconusco. I didn't mention the word, the region Soconusco. Soconusco is this area south of Chiapas, right? Here we have Tapachula, and there is like very small towns here that's where they grow cacao. So like the Aztecs, the Aztecs settled down in central Mexico. Here Cholula is Puebla state, so Mexico City should be here, right? So it's central Mexico. So you see, like it is a long distance, probably like 1,000 miles from the Soconusco to central Mexico. So that's the reason why the Aztecs, it was not very easy to get cacao in central Mexico, and also Mexico City. It has an altitude of 2,300 meters. I don't know how that is in feet. Sorry, because we use different. But it is very high in Mexico City. So it is not possible to grow cacao in Mexico City. Cacao grows also as the sea level, and probably like less than 1,000 meters. So like cacao needs like very humid weather. So in Mexico City it doesn't have the
Weather's too good in Mexico City.
Yeah, like 25 maybe throughout the year. So and in Soconusco most time of the year it's between 30 35, very humid. There is like the rainy season, also like it rains a lot, and also in Central America. So the chocolate that I gave you comes from Soconusco, from that region. I forgot to mention, but this is a very creamy and nutty chocolate. Well, and finally for this the Aztecs, there is just one more slide. Yeah, almost to finish. Like chocolate that comes from the Nahuatl language. There is a language from Mexico that there is still people who speak Nahuatl, and chocolate comes from these Nahuatl words that means bitter water. So that's the meaning of chocolate, right? And finally, this is the last. I'm not going to talk about many details from the Toltecs, but this is just a slide because I think you already saw like our mold, which is inspired by the Toltec culture. This is a little known civilization. It is not as known as the Aztecs or the Maya. However, it is a fascinating culture. Those columns are 3 meters tall. They were built in central Mexico, in the state of Hidalgo, Tula, Hidalgo. And as you can see, like our mold resembles like those columns. It is more modern, you know. But just one detail, there is many things that we can talk about, all the things that the design, you know, that it has. But I will just mention one because it's very interesting. For me, that's the most interesting one, is that this thing, this part of the body, that's a butterfly. And also, like we can see that part on, in our bar. And why a butterfly? Because the Toltecs believed that when a Toltec warrior died in battle, he will be reborn as a butterfly and just go away. So for me, it was very interesting, like to find that story and that meaning of the butterfly. And that's it. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
So the Toltecs were contemporaneous, and they were just in a different. They were further north.
Yeah, very very close to Mexico City. Yeah, like in the map, it is
same time as the Aztecs.
before, just before.
Just before.
Yeah, just before. Yeah, but yes, we can see like the map, but it is very also like if we look for the state of Hidalgo, actually like Tula, where this is the town where the columns are, it is probably 15 miles away from Mexico City. So it's very
So
close.
this is just south.
North, it is north
North.
Mexico City.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it is North Mexico City. And Toltecs, like the period of time is very short, you see? 900 AC to 1200. So it is a very short period. Like, for most civilizations in Mexico, like there is little information of how the reasons why they disappear, or if they just left and maybe they used to create other tribes in other states, because there is lots of civilizations and archaeological sites in Mexico. So, but yeah, this is a very little known archaeological site, Tula. Most people, when you go to Mexico City, most people go to Teotihuacan, which is an amazing archaeological site, but not many people know this other one. Maybe it's not as impressive because Teotihuacan has huge pyramids, the pyramid of the sun, the moon, and probably like here there is not big pyramids. The pyramids are small, but the interesting thing here are the columns that they built.
Were the columns brought to that space that they're displayed, or were they just lined up like that when they were?
Can you say it again, please?
The columns are all lined up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Were they found lined up, or were they?
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same position that were found. There is an interesting thing. As far as I remember, just one of all those columns. There is not many columns. I mean, probably it's just like 5 or 6. There's not many of them, but once I read that there was just one original column. The others were taken to different places. If you ever visit the Anthropology Museum in Mexico City, for me one of the best museums in the world, you will see a column of a Toltec column, and it was taken from here. So like some of them are not the old columns, but they were they have the same position. All the pyramids were aligned with the sun and all those.
Why were they? Was that a space for worship? I mean, why were they there?
In central, in the
lined up like that. Why?
That's a good question. Like, I don't really know that. Yeah.
Question: in Querétaro, where you're from,
Yeah.
there's pyramids. What civilization are the pyramids from? Do they know?
Yes, there is. I'm trying to remember that is a small tribe, which also, like Querétaro is close to Hidalgo, also this state, and Otomi. Otomi, that's the name of the.
That's the Otomi tribes.
The Otomi, and I think that the pyramid is located in Querétaro, in the capital, because it's Querétaro State and Querétaro capital. That pyramid was built by the Otomi tribe in Mexico. It is a less known civilization compared to the Toltecs or the other ones. I mentioned that because in Mexico, like, there is lots of civilizations,
tribes, right?
Yeah, but most people know about the Aztecs, the Maya. Those, I would say, those are the main. And actually, like when people, even Mexicans, like 90% of the Mexicans that see our mold, they think that it is inspired by the Aztecs. Most people, and like 8% think it is Maya, and maybe just 2% they know it is Toltec. But yeah, but it just has some details, um, and it is more like a modern design, so it is not as easy to get that it is inspired by those Toltec columns.
What kind of stone are they carved from?
I didn't read about that, but just looking at the picture, I am sure, because in Mexico City there is a lot of volcanic rocks. Because like in Mexico City, like we have some volcanoes. Two are still active: the Popo, Catepetl, and Ixtlacihuatl. They are between Mexico City and Puebla. So like in Mexico City, there is some regions, some parts where you can see the volcanic rock. So this type, because I already know that kind of rock. So I'm sure they should be.
Okay.
They use that to build the columns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.